The Great Lakes make up 21% of the fresh water right here on Earth. That's 3% of the world's freshwater supply. This means the Midwest is sitting on top of one of the largest sources of life itself.
But what exactly is pushing the Great Lakes to the brink? In this special, we will dive deeper into the many challenges the lakes are facing at this very moment, and what that means for you.
Natural phenomenon, man-made threats, and controversy are making waves in this 6 quadrillion gallon force. This is Great Lakes on the Brink.
The coastal lifestyle can be one of beauty and leisure, but what if it was all washed away by the very resource it depends on? One town in particular has been left defenseless, and some residents struggle to save their homes from these rising water levels. But that threat isn't confined to just one community.
Petoskey, a hotspot for tourists and an undisputed beauty for residents, is just one of many cities located on the Great Lakes. Kendall Kinglesmith translates his love for the Petoskey way of life through his work as the director of the city's Parks and Recreation Department. But lately, he's met with a new challenge.
It's frustrating, man. I'm telling you.
The culprit for this rising frustration: rising water levels.
Well, I'm not going to lie. You panic a little bit because this is the highest the water's been in 30 some years.
And Petoskey is suffering damages lying right in the wake of this unforgiving force of nature that is showing no signs of slowing down.
It happened quick.
Just this morning, right here in Petoskey, these high water levels reached this barrier here and took out ground. Now this ground that has been taken out is just feet away from this playground.
If we can't operate our marina, I mean, that's huge.
The higher these water levels get, the murkier the city's future becomes. The coastal lifestyle is in danger of washing out.
It isn't isolated to one spot.
Right.
And it is a massive undertaking.
In fact, all 5 Great Lakes have hit record highs in the past year and are expected to only climb further in the coming seasons. As of the beginning of November, Lake Superior was 16 inches above its long-term monthly average. The waters of Lake Ontario reached 19 inches higher. Lake Erie challenged its norm by 28 inches, and as for the connecting lakes, Huron and Michigan rested at 36 inches above their long-term monthly average. The true cause that gives rise to these water levels is elusive, but certain suspected factors impact many communities.
I know Petoskey isn't the only coastal town that's dealing with this.
In many coastal communities, high water levels have washed away roads, consumed inland bodies of water, and have flooded valuable properties.
I mean, it's all kind of new to everybody. So certainly the public is, they're curious and they're concerned.
Concerned with the uncertainty of their tourism-based economies as visitors turn away from shrinking beaches and waterlogged piers and boat launches.
The compromised areas need to be addressed now.
Water levels are a hard phenomenon to predict, and the many problems that they cause have limited solutions. The Parks and Rec Department has utilized boulders and sandbags in an attempt to keep the water at bay, an operation costing them tens of thousands of dollars.
You hope that the costs are manageable, because if they're not, I don't know what you do.
But their hard work so far has only been met with intense uncertainty.
Mother Nature is undefeated, so whatever's gonna happen is going to happen.
Rebecca Allen, DTV News.
So why are the Great Lakes water levels so high? The first step to answering this question is by looking at climate, weather, and the natural cycle of the lakes. The lakes have a cycle where the level of the water rises and falls almost every 20 years. But what does this mean for water levels? Jeff Lutz, a general forecaster at the U.S. National Weather Service in Gaylord, Michigan, explains how the weather, in fact, does affect the Great Lakes.
The weather does affect the level of the Great Lakes. Several years ago, we noted that there was, if you may remember, there was ice cover over a good portion of the Great Lakes. With that, then we don't get as much evaporation of the Great Lakes during the winter and into the spring. The ice just kind of hung on as long as it could. And then we also then had rain over the subsequent years that was probably somewhat above normal in the Great Lakes Basin. So that helps to feed into everything. Now the Great Lakes itself goes through a cycle of every about 10 to 20 years, I think, where it rises and falls and rises and falls.